Set up the definite interval required to find the area between these two graphs over the interval -6 to 3. So basically, let me show you the picture. You're not going to be able to use graphing tools during the exam, but let me show you the picture, and then I'll tell you how you would reason without the picture. So here's the Desmos graphing tool graph of them. So here's the red one is this red upside down parabola, right? We know a negative x squared graph is x squared graphs are U-shapes, parabolas, negative is going down. This is the blue one is a line going down, negative slope. It's just x to the first power. So that's going to be a straight line, right? X to the first power is always a straight line and negative. So it's going down, slope down. This one is x squared. So that's a U shape, negative again, going down. Okay. And they want the area between them, between -6 and 3. And 3. So you can tell these jumps go by, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They're going by twos, 2, 4, 6, 8, -10. So I went from -6 to +3, and I drew, the green line, and then it hits the graph here and here. So there's the left wall, there's the right wall. That's between the two graphs, between -6 and +3. So that's going to be that purple shaded region. They want us to find that area. So how do you find that area? We're going to basically put a bunch of rectangles in there. Notice they want us to go dx. So we're going, this is the x-axis, as you know. This is the x-axis. This is the y. So we're going to put a bunch of dx. We're going to put well, it's long. We're going to put rectangles that go sideways like this. Right? I want to find the area of this rectangle. We're going to add up all those rectangles. We're going to integrate, sum up all those rectangles. So let's do it. So we're going to integrate from left to right because we have a dx. That's left to right. X-axis goes left to right. Integrate from left to right. And as we do for each of these rectangles, if we want to figure out, here again, let me put a rectangle in here. How do you figure out the area of that one or any of these rectangles? Well, you got to take the width is dx, right? The thickness dx is the width. Okay, but what's the height? Well, the height is going to be the top function minus the bottom function, right? It's up here, take away down here. That's the height, right? When you have a top and a bottom, you got to subtract them and you get the height. So that's what we got to do. So we got to integrate from left to right of the top function minus the bottom function dx, because this is the height, top minus bottom, and this is the width. The area of a rectangle is just height times width. So we got to add up sum. It's a big S. Add up all the rectangles from left to right of the height times the width. The height is top minus bottom, width is dx. Okay. So the left and the right. How do we know that? Well, that part's easy. They're giving us this. This is the left, and this is the right. So we're going from -6 to +3. So those are easy. We knew those. So the only question really becomes, and these are the two functions, right? This is there's this one and there's this one. Which one's top? How do you know if you didn't already look at the graph, like we got the graph right there? How do you know which one's top and which one's bottom? Well, basically, to find, let me write that out. To find which is on the top, what should you do? Basically, I would just plug in a point because again, you're not going to be able to graph it using the graphing tool, and you don't want to take the time to by hand graph the whole thing. That'd take too long. Just plug in an x value between between -6 and +3, right? That's our interval, left and right, between the left and the right, somewhere on your interval between the left edge and right edge, and find which y value is higher. Just plug in, find out which one's higher. So I'll just go, okay, I'll take the first equation, which is y equals, here, I'll do it in red because it's red. Okay, so it's y equals this one right here, 17 minus x squared. And then I'll take the other one over here, and it is y equals -2x minus 46. And I'm going to put, now what's something between -6 and 3? Well, I'm going to do something easy. How about x is 0? Right? You pick any, or you put -5, -4, anything, between those two. +1, +2. Because, anything between -6 and +3 would be fine. You do -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Any of those are fine. Zero is easy, though. So I'm going to do 0. So I'm going to plug in a 0 here and a 0 there. That should be easy. So y equals 17. And this other one is y equals -46. So which one's higher up? Well, this one. This one is on the top. This is the higher one. So that means the parabola, right, is the one on the top, which we of course know because we're looking at the graph. The parabola is the one on the top and the line's on the bottom. Right, we got it. Right? This is the top. This is the bottom. The line's the bottom, the parabola is on the top. Now, it won't always be that way. They can reverse that on you. So you got to check. You just got to check one x value in somewhere in the interval. All right, so then we got our integral. The top minus bottom. So what's the top function? It's the parabola. This will be 17 minus x squared minus, and what's the bottom function? This one, minus 2x minus 46, right? And so then you can type it in just like that. That's fine. Or you can just go ahead. Um, you can distribute that here. I can do it down here. 17 minus x squared minus 2. Again, you can just type it in like that. That's good enough. But I'll go ahead and distribute. So we get 17 minus x squared plus 2x plus 46. And again, you can type it in like that. All 17 and 46, that's some number. What is that? 20 be 66 minus 3, 63. Yeah. Minus x squared plus 2x. There we go. And so it's, as we said, it's the integral from the left to the right, which I've already forgotten. What is it? -6 to +3 of this. This is the simplified version of top minus bottom dx. That is the setup of the integral. We're not going to compute it. We're not going to find that actual area. We could. It's not hard. We did a bunch of these in earlier sections. I just don't want to make these too long. So I'm just going to do the setup and stop. So there we go. There it is. Is that what they got there? There we go. Minus x squared plus 2x plus 63. There plus 2. Yep, same thing. So there it is. So again, you just got to plug in. So it's always going to be left to right, which they gave you. Top minus bottom. That's how we always find out the height. And the width is dx. So it's all about really finding out which one's on the top. Just plug in x equals 0, and you'll find that out. And there we go.